Peace cannot exist without war and vice versa, as they are essentially opposites of each other. After all, left cannot exist without right, or light without dark. Humans have had the opportunity to pull themselves out of the hole they have dug themselves into time and time again, but have never succeeded. Peace is still an achievable state of being, however. We can achieve it by ending all life on Earth. Life itself is suffering and war, and by making the Earth devoid of life, we will finally be giving it a long overdue state of peace.
Now, you might be questioning how we jump to such an intense opinion. Countries don't go to war, the leaders of countries go to war. On Earth, we've had many incidents that make us believe that nuclear winter is our only option. Leaders rampaging against each other leads to humans turning their backs on one another, something that is not helpful to create a better place, to express ourselves, and in the end, all for what, is what I say to our world leaders, because you believe in imaginary lines written by men that determine who is an illegal alien once they enter another country, because they believe in something that you don't and you automatically feel superior. We're all humans made up of blood and bone. But listen here, my friends, not everyone thinks like us. That's why we must nuke everyone. Every single one of us. No exceptions.
And I will argue that this is no moral decision. However, all morals aside, we will finally be at peace. Peace with ourselves, others, and finally at peace with Mother Earth. This is absolutely attainable without humans and all living organisms on Earth. Death is the absolute end, which is irreversible and provides many opportunities to regrow and be new again. Whereas if human populations was still intact, it would be hard to achieve due to human nature and bold opinions that stop you from the ultimate goal of peace.
We have, for the purposes of this debate, defined peace as freedom from civil disturbance. Achieving this goal is a high order, especially when you take into account that human history is violence. Starting from our inception as a species, we have gone about the business of subjugating and destroying our environment and ruined one another in the process. According to Steven Pinker's analysis in 2011's The Better Angels of Our Nature, the early days of human life were incredibly brutish and short. Though our society and social structure has changed, our indelible human nature of competition and violence has remained. We as humans are rabid animals, thrashing to be free of the confines of a modern society that has evolved much faster than our brains or our hearts ever could. Many have tried to deny this innate human nature, to claim that we are somehow different or more enlightened than our beastly counterparts, that we can remake and reform our natures in the name of justice, progress, and equality. But human nature is a round peg in the square hole of ideology. Nothing fits but brutality and selfishness. We have burned and pillaged and wreaked havoc on ourselves and the world around us until there is nothing left but a husk of a planet and the husk of a species, depressed, lifeless, terrified drones, lashing out, calling each other slurs, and posting mean things on social media. But my friends, there is hope. On the horizon, at the end of the tunnel, there is light. The white-hot, cleansing light of nuclear Armageddon. There is one way and one way only to achieve peace on Earth. To nuke all 7.7 billion men, women, and children alive today. No exceptions, no survivors. Humanity is a virus on the face of the planet Earth, and we have been treating the symptoms and not the disease for far too long. And in the course of our folly, we have created the perfect penicillin. There are currently over 10,000 nuclear weapons scattered across the planet, most of them in the United States and Russia. This number is down considerably from the Cold War high of 68,000, though the current stockpile would not serve our purposes and would allow for the possibility of survivors and thus future violence and suffering, with each bomb having to kill almost 1 million people to ensure total world annihilation. Through hard work and collaboration, our international nuclear arsenal could grow far beyond its former levels. By asking for forgiveness instead of permission, we could work around the messy business of international consensus and skip right to the results. A group of committed, like-minded individuals could make sure that there were enough bombs to demolish every urban center and hit town 3 times over. The Earth would become something brand new and so wondrously old. An irradiated rock floating in space, still smoking and boiling in primordial magma, wiped clean of past mistakes. Every human being on Earth, one moment there, the next moment gone. No more guilt, no more sadness, no more struggle, no more strife. One grand moment of violence to secure a future of total peace. This thing called human life has been a bold experiment, but a failed one. It is time to return to square one. It is time to bring peace to the world.
So you can't say that there's other alternatives. There's all these philosophies that there are that we could try. The thing is, we've already tried them and failed. And
These philosophies will fail because they are made for humans by humans, and humans will never stop being power-hungry monsters, always thinking about themselves before others.
Okay, I want you to take a moment. Everyone, breathe with me. You can breathe. Good. That means you're alive. Alive is good. We like alive. It holds so much power, so much glory. Death holds so much uncertainty. It ignites fears in those who it seeks. We don't like death very much. Life is right in front of us in the moment. It's the energy and the excitement we feel in performing, the happiness in the company of those around us, or even simply going outside and breathing in the air or enjoying the flowers on the bush. That's all what it means to feel alive, to have life. The majestic lion and her lioness lying down with their cubs in the grass, and the birds singing outside, and all of us gathered here together in this very room. I mean, we're aimlessly trying to find a way to better our way of living it, but we're all involved in the shared experience of life. Life is beautiful, life is impossible, and yet it exists. The inner workings of every ecosystem and food web are very intricate and take thousands of years to adapt to adequately suit every life form. It's so possible. It should have a catch, right? Well, it does. Life is not peace. Life is war. From the very second you are born, you must fight for your life. There's no time to breathe. In order for every ecosystem to sustain its life, we must challenge it. Populations are kept at bay because the world as it stands is friendly to none and constantly shoves the brute force of nature into the face of those who it surrounds. Life, in order for the majestic lion pride to feed its young, they must fight for their food. They're only successful an average of 40% of the time, making their hunt a never-ending and drilling task, and an unpleasant experience for any herds nearby or they want to eat. The birds singing in the trees are at a constant risk of becoming prey of something else and must also hunt for their own food. Yes, even us in this room are without peace. Maybe you got a bad grade in the final, or maybe you have a personal struggle right now. Okay, look around the room. Look at every single person in this room. Okay, raise your hand if there's not one person in this room who has made you feel inferior, questioned your morals, or just plain annoyed you. Okay, by 20 exactly. Not a lot of us, right? And that annoyed me. So you know what? Like, that's it. So, like we're constantly at war with each other. And this conflict that we're up against can put conflict at a much grander scale for humanity, right? The life every human life lives is controlled by the government of the country they're currently living in. We actually have no say what we're taught growing up in the morals of those around us. We are surrounded ourselves by those who think like us, but imagine if we were never taught to think like that. Imagine. Humanity has had more than enough